It's in a hello, in the way your smile glows. And it's in a goodbye, in the tear in your eye. And all in between, when you're looking at me, I know, I know, I know what you don't say. And it shimmers through in the things that you do. When you write me a note and you send it by post. And what you might not sign on that bottom line, I know, I know, I know what you don't say. Words are not needed. The more my ears could be misled, my heart can hear instead what goes unsaid. You'll leave me with this, a hug and a kiss, and that little phrase, those sweet words you can't say. But please don't be blue, 'cause I always knew, and I know, I know, I know, and I love you too.
Hello, everybody. I think we're live, finally. Welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Mioka, and this is my very first go-around. So please have an abundance of patience with me today, and I hope that you have as much fun as I do, even just up to this point. I am 30 years old. I currently live in a small town in the Okanagan of British Columbia with my husband and our sweet dog, Copper. We've lived in our home for almost 3 months now, and we've been married for 4.5 months. We've been together for 7 years, and in the last 4 months, we have completely uprooted our lives, I guess you could say, gotten married, and bought a home, renovated said home, moved into the home, and here we are. So enough about my life and me. We'll get back to that eventually. I'll share little tidbits with you. Before this, you saw our front yard and our garden and some of the crafty things that I've been up to today, and I hope to share more of that with you in the future. So I have been knitting, I'd say consecutively, for about 3 years now. Consecutively in terms of not putting it down. Maybe more likely 2. I'd say 2. Not putting it down in the warmer months when I get busy. I truly find it to be a relaxing, unwinding, beautiful craft. I actually learned how to knit when I was really little. And I think there was a lot of those square knit cotton dishcloths in our lives. Thanks, Mom. And just was easy, was fun. I think that's how I kind of got my gauge organized. And then I got bored, of course. So my very first project that I can remember and still have to this day, I'm going to call the Jenny sweater. So I had a sweet little white bear stuffed animal growing up, And I'm not sure if the sweater came before the stuffed animal or during or after or what it was, but I knit her a sweater. And I unfortunately don't have her today. She's at my mom's place and my niece loves to play with her. But I did take the sweater because even though it's quite wide, we don't have any babies yet, but I'd like to think one day that they'll fit into it because like crop tops are in, right? Anyway, this is the Jenny sweater. I would love to be able to share with you the pattern, but I'm not too sure. So I'll see if we can dig that up. Mom, you on that? And I don't know the yarn either. It's probably a Walmart special at that point. So that's the Jenny sweater. That is one of the most precious projects to me. Even if it sits on a teddy bear later in life, I'm really happy that I have it. After knitting for a few years when I was younger, put it down, grew up, who knew. When I was in college, I picked up crocheting. It was a really awesome thing to do when I sat in class and I would just crochet away. And it was funny because my ball of yarn would always be following underneath the chairs and stuff like that. I am a registered massage therapist, so college was 3 years long, and I crocheted a lot of hats and baby booties, and I have none to show for it because I gifted them all away, and I hope that they are still out there. Actually, I do have one thing. It is a really well-loved garment. It is a hat. I knit it for my husband one of the first years that we got together. I will not show it to you because I personally would hope that that hat finds its way to the garbage because it is beyond saving, and he has had many hats knit for him in replacement, and well, let's just say it's still his favorite, but I don't mind if he takes it to work because he's a welder and he can get it as dirty as he likes. But after that, I picked up one of the easiest things I could find, and I did a hat for myself. This is called On the Sea Train. It is a free pattern from Espace Tricot. And as you can see here, I have a little leather tag. On one side it says love, and on the other side it says M for Mioka. Put this on here for you. This hat is heaven. It's got a little bit of a slouch to it, but low enough that I can get it over my ears, my hair is down. Yeah, I've had this hat probably, I think this will be my third, possibly fourth fall and winter with it. And yeah, worn it, washed it to death. It is the softest thing. I will try and link, I don't know if I'll link, pardon me, I've got mohair in my eye now. We have a struggle, right? I don't know if I'll be able to link the patterns to you, but I will link my Ravelry page, and everything for yarn and patterns and everything like that that I showed today, except for the Jenny sweater, will be on my Ravelry, and that's the best place to find it. I try and keep up with everything pretty good that way. So On the Sea Train is knit with Woolfolk Far and stranded with Shibui Silk Cloud. So here I have the color 14 and color Abyss in the Shibui, and this, my love, will soon be another On the Sea Train hat. I'm super excited to do that. I've had this since last year and I've just gotten too busy, and honestly I love this one so much that not that I would replace it, because I do need something darker. You can see my makeup on the edge of this one, but just something else to recreate. Ooh, I'm throwing yarn already. Okay, so yeah, I went on a serious hat bender, and I knit a lot of hats for a lot of people, and I hope that there are a lot of warm noggins out there because it gets cool here in the wintertime. So I am in my living room, no, dining room, and the best light I could find and the nicest background. Let's go this way. Background. That's my piano. And yeah, so during hats, I started knitting socks. These, I'm sure most of you will recognize, are the Coffee Talk socks by Tracy Millar of the Grocery Girls, who I'm like fangirling hard, dying to meet. They were literally 5 hours away from me this weekend, you guys. Not that they're much farther than that anyway, but they were in Knit City this weekend in Vancouver. And well, when you buy a house and then renovate the house, it's expensive and you run out of money real fast. And financially just couldn't get down to Knit City this year, even though my mom and I really, really wanted to go. So it's on the list for next year, and if I have to save for it ahead of time, I will. Anyway, Coffee Talk Socks. I looked up the yarn. I couldn't pronounce it. I'm not going to butcher it on here. Again, in my Ravelry page, I have small feet, okay? I have size 5 feet. So when I take these off the sock blockers, just to give you an idea of how tiny my toes are. Love them. Haven't worn them a ton, mostly because I'm protecting them from pilling too much and wearing out. But I definitely plan on slipping these on my feet tonight because it is kind of a cooler afternoon, and it frosted pretty hard last night here. I think I said that already. So Coffee Talk Socks, really love them. Next, my sweet husband, Matt, is a welder, and in the Okanagan, welders have to work outside quite a bit. And he requested a pair of woolen socks. So these are the old-fashioned work socks that I knit for him. And as you can see, they are very well loved. Some pretty good pilling happening in there. I need to get my gleaner out. And they have also been thrown in the washing machine and then dryer. So you can understand how I feel about that. He has big feet. This does not do his feet justice. They shrunk pretty good. When he wears them, they're nice and tight to his foot, which he loves, that tight fit. But this is just such a rough, woolly yarn that I will definitely be knitting him another pair of these. And in fact, my parents went down to Alberta this past spring to the Custom Woolen Mills, and they got me some more yarn to make Matt some more socks. So there we go. Custom, where am I? Everything's backwards, but it's not. Like, I go right and it's left. There we go. Custom Woolen Mills. 100% natural wool, grown and processed in Canada. It's a really nice, thick, rough wool. I remember when I knit it, these were truly a labor of love. Like I said, he's got big feet, and the needles that I used were wooden needles. They were quite rough, and rough wool and rough needles just equal rough hands and a lot of extra time, unfortunately, just kind of trying to slide that yarn back and forth. So I have new needles now, thank goodness. I did these on DPNs, and I might even try the new set that I do on a magic loop. I might do 2 at a time. I don't know. I feel like I would be here until January if I tried that. But at the same time, the love that he feels and warmth that he feels on his feet are totally worth it. So thanks, Mom and Dad, for the yarn. And thank you for Custom Wool Mills. This is the Mule Spinner yarn. Yeah, color 2 ply, 198 meters. I still have some left over from these ones. In fact, I might even be able to go to do a second pair of socks, but I would have to switch out the dark for the main color and the light for the main color and the dark for the stripes. Well, I'm hoping to do that sometime this winter. We shall see. Okay, water. The next thing that I would like to show, I'm not showing everything. Like I said, I've been knitting for a few years. I've been debating podcasting for over a year now. And to show you all of the content that I've knit is just not fair to you. We would be here for hours. And I'm hoping to kind of pull stuff up as we go along if I ever podcast again. I would really like to podcast again. So when we got married in May. And May here can be kind of unpredictable, generally pretty nice. This was May long weekend, and it was a bit rainy and chilly, and my dress was strapless. And so I wanted something that I could just pull over my shoulders and be warm enough to cruise around in the evening until it came time to dance. So I knit myself the Bennett Sisters shawl. I'm not going to take it off because it's super cozy in here right now. This is made out of the Julie Aslin Fino in the natural color base, so it was undyed. And then the second half of it is stranded with Shibuya Silk Cloud mohair. Actually, I think I have it on backwards. I do. That's okay. But you can kind of see that beautiful, beautiful halo happening there. I wanted something that I could wear for the wedding, that I could wear after the wedding like this. This has been my go-to shawl all fall already, and it's just, it feels so good to cuddle up against my neck, and the fact that it was my wedding shawl just kind of makes it that much more special. Oh, okay. I have a lot of projects on the go, mostly because I wouldn't say I get bored per se, but I definitely I knit for the seasons, and so when it's cold and snowy or like kind of a fall day, I'm gonna want to knit something warmer and just get my hands busy in that. Whereas in the summer months, I definitely shied away from knitting a little bit more, mostly because I'm busy outside. And then, like I said, we got married, so that takes up a lot of time. But in the summer, I've been knitting more like with linen and smaller projects that are not taking up my lap and my making me warm, right? But last fall, and I actually just dug this out today, and I'm kicking my ass because I need to finish it. All it needs is a sleeve. I've been on Sleeve Island for a year, folks. Yay. A sleeve. I need to do a sleeve. This is the Freya, Freja. Again, I'll try and put it on the screen, and everything's linked in Ravelry. The Freya by Jared Flood, and I 100% copied everything about this sweater from Patricia of the Paradise Island podcast. She wore it in one of her podcasts, one of her first ones that I watched, and I loved every minute of it. So this is the Freya. As you can see, it's got some beautiful pockets happening here. Room for a phone. This is the sleeve that I do have done. Lovely rolled cuff. And they rolled collar and all the way down too. So, like I said, I just got to get myself going on a sleeve. And then this baby is going to wrap me up for winter. Are you starting to see what colors I like here, maybe? Maybe? Very much a neutral girl. Anyway, I hope to have this done very soon. But could you imagine having this on your lap knitting in 30 plus degree weather? I don't want to. No, thank you. This is knit out of Brooklyn Tweed Quarry. It's a good size sweater. However, it is, of any of the things that I've heard, I'll show you on the end here, were to be careful with the yarn because it pulls really easily, like that. I didn't have any problem with it. I think I'm a loose enough knitter, my gauge is loose enough that I wasn't worried about it. There was only one part where it did break on me, and that was the sleeve. And that was my fault because I'm pretty sure I knit that sleeve like 4 times before I finally got it right. There are definitely some modifications in it. And yeah, so that's kind of the only thing that really got me going. But anyway, really happy with it. Really excited to get it done. And hopefully I will have that done this week would be nice. Next up, everyone recognize that? Because we knew we were going to be moving, we had the wedding and everything else going on, we did not plan to garden this year. And part of the reason for that, I did some stuff in pots, and honestly, they just got dried out and ignored. Some really crispy peppers. But we just, in the past, I think about 4 years ago now, we had to move out of a house that unexpectedly we were renting, their family was moving home, and we had to get out. I had a beautiful garden there. And to this day, my heart still hurts for everything that I left behind, vegetable-wise. And I hope that their family was really happy because it sucked. Anyway, this year, I was kind of feeling like that sadness of not having my own garden and not planting vegetables. There's just something so grounding and wonderful about growing your own vegetables and your own garden and feeding your family with it. And I was sad to not be able to do that for us this year. So when Susan B. Anderson posted her Veggie charm set, I almost keeled over and died because I had to do it. I had to do it. So this is the Veggie Summer Veggie charm set. I got the kit from her. I think it was only $50-something. It wasn't too bad. And you got all of the yarn with it as well. So this is, pardon me. Whew, wool is in my throat. This is my second set I have knit out of this yarn that I got. The first one went to a beautiful little girl in my life, my best friend's daughter. Turned 1, and I got her a book about vegetables, and I'm going to go a little tangent about that. So I like to give a book and a teddy or something that I've made or something special for their first birthday. I could not, for the life of me, find a book for a toddler or a baby about gardening or vegetables. 3 different bookstores, you guys. Quite quaint little mom and pop bookshops, as well as like the Indigo and all that stuff from there. So I finally found Joanna Gaines' We Are the Gardeners. Beautiful book, really happy with it. However, it was more like a 5 up or more. Thankfully, this little girl has an older sister who will help read it to her, and hopefully they can enjoy it for some time to come. Anyway, off topic. If you're a author in a children's novel or any way, sort of shape of form, please knit. No, gosh. Write. You can knit too. I'll knit the vegetables to go with it. But please write a children's book. Or maybe I just didn't look hard enough. How freaking cute are these? So this is the onion. That's the carrot. I have a plump cherry tomato. No, it's not cherry. It's like a beef steak. And then 3 peas in a pod. They don't come out, but I did it so that you could like plop them out like that. And then I'm partway through my cucumber. And how sweet is this? She's got baubles on the cucumber. You can see that where it's bumps. Also in the set is a it says beet in the pattern, but they gave me a very purpley color. And when I did it, Matt thought it was like a radish or a turnip or something like that. So whatever you want to call it. So I have to do that still. And then also the corn I have to knit and finish the cucumber, of course. So these were super adorable. I had to knit a set for our house because my niece came over. She's only 3.5. And she played with the set that I had given to my friend prior to going to her birthday party. She actually stuffed them. So when you have your couch cushions all set up like that, she actually stuffed them in the couch cushions so that the top green part was hanging out. It was adorable. And I had to knit a set so that we could leave them in our house. We don't have any children yet. Like I said, we just got married and I hope to one day, but we have lots of nephews and nieces and littles that run around our house all the time. So it's really exciting to have them. Okay, so what else do I have on the go here? Oh, of course. So this company called Mize Green. Oh yeah, I have my slow knitters pin on there. I'm not a super slow knitter anymore, but I definitely can't consecutively sit down and knit every single day all the time. So that's why I got the slow knitters pin. Anyway, my screen, I have several of their bags. They're fantastic. They are lined with this waterproof kind of, I don't know, liner so that they're waterproof. You can put them down. The last time they gave me this little tag thing. And then you can also, look what's in this knitting bag. Yeah, super waterproof, super durable. I'm not worried about my project in them. The only thing I found with this one now is bag to sweater ratio is a little off. So I am using Barocco Vintage at $10 a skein for my weekender. I started this, it's been a few months now. Oh shoot. It's been a few months now, and kind of lost my knitting mojo in the middle of renovations. I think I could have sized down a little bit more, but at the same time, I'm really excited for just a super boxy, kind of like what I'm wearing right now. This is, I did not make this. This is a store-bought. A super boxy, nice, big sweater. So this is, yeah, this is the top. And I'm off center, and there we go. So if you're not familiar with the weekender, you knit all the way around, and on the front and back center, you have a faux seam that you put together. And then there is a split hem, as well as when you turn it inside out, you get the garter, and then that faux seam there as well. And then that's the front, this lovely rib section. So I need to finish my back ribbing, as well as the, Mioka, speak, sleeves. I need to go back to Sleeve Island with this one. But I'm really enjoying it. It's a really affordable one. We tend to go camping every Thanksgiving. It's a family tradition. And I hope to bring this with me there. I wanted to wear it out there, but that's just not going to happen this year. This week is crazy coming up. So, yeah, what else have I got to show? Oh, another Mice Green bag. What's in here? So, a whole other story for another day, but over a year ago now, I joined Fibershare for the first time, and I met the most incredible people. I have now done it 2 rounds. I can't remember when I met Amanda, and I haven't met her in person. I just feel like I know her because she has a podcast. She has inspired me to start my podcast, and she's introduced me to podcasting. So Amanda, thank you so much. I hope that you are watching in some shape or form. She's just the most generous, loving soul that you could imagine. When I think it was kind of prior to the wedding, she had asked me for my address again and sent me some yarn. So she's a beautiful hand indie dyer, and she's all the way in New Brunswick. And she had knit this shawl called the Kyler. Can't remember the... Yeah, I can't remember the pattern writer at the moment. Like I said, everything's listed in Ravelry. So this is the Kyler. So she had knit the Kyler, and I absolutely loved everything she had knit about it. And so I commented on one of her things. I said, I am going to knit that exactly the same as you did. What colorway is it? Whatever. So she messaged me and asked for our address, which I don't know if that was a sweet card or something coming in the mail. And she sent me the yarn that she hand dyed to make the Kyler. Now this, I've got a ways to go yet. This was also like a pre-wedding jitter shawl. Thank you, Amanda. Again, I promise this will be done as soon as I have time. I'm not sure if I have her tag in here or not. No, I don't. Anyway, I will definitely post her information. Sweet skein of mine. She's beautiful, so generous, and this, again, is a project and a pattern full of love from her. So thank you, Amanda, again. And where are your podcasts, Missy? I miss seeing you. Okay, we're nearing the end. So one of our local yarn stores in the area is called A Twist of Yarn, and 30 minutes. They have Color Adventures. That's the yarn that they dye in their shop. Absolutely beautiful. I love to support them as much as I can. I've knit several things with them. Actually, Matt's hat on the sea train is out of their yarn. And I don't have my first garter stitch baby kimono to show you because it is living with our sweet niece Isabel. But I loved it. It was one of Joji Locatelli's first patterns, so it was kind of difficult to read the pattern and figure it out, but thankfully I kind of got it organized and made my own situation there. But I knit this garter stitch baby kimono and I loved it. It was absolutely everything I wanted it to be. I gifted it. They didn't know what they were having. It was done in this really soft kind of oatmeal speckly color, and they loved it. She wore it as much as she could, until she, grew out of it. And so I thought, you know what, that's one of the things I would really like to stash away for our future babies. So, and I thought it was really cool to cast on while we were on our honeymoon. So not thinking anything of it, threw in the needles that I could have sworn I used with the other one and the yarn I wanted to use for it, and away we went. We went on our honeymoon. I was in Tofino, got to sit on the beach and knit and drink champagne and watch the sunset with my husband, and it was incredible. But I started with this dark color. I can't remember what the dark color is called. I don't have it from the tag right now. And as you can see, it's more like a toddler's sweater. So I'm just starting kind of the decreasing now. It opens up like this and then closes, and then I guess it was this side. There's little buttonholes here. So I've got sleeves already. So anyway, I ran out of the dark, I think while we were on holidays, and I had to go and get some of this gray. It's called Fog. And then as I'm knitting, I'm going like, this is a really thick, dense fabric. Like I should have gauged swatched. Famous last words, right? So I went and picked up another skein of the Fog, and I'm going to continue on up. So this is definitely not going to be for a newborn. This will be more so for a sweet little toddler, or at whatever stage the baby gets to. So like I said, we don't have any babies yet. We're not pregnant right now. But I just thought it would be one of the coolest things to put our future child into something that I somewhat knit and started on our honeymoon. If I had been smart enough, I would have had the whole thing done, but potato, right? So yeah, that is probably one of the last whips that I have on the go that I'm going to show you today. And, oh my, okay, that's just going to stay down there. One final thing to show, because I'm obsessed with this. I think I know what I'm doing with it, but I'm not 100%. Do you recognize that? Chelsea Luxe Pink Peony. I think this is going to be a ranunculus. That's what I bought it for. I have the pattern for it, everything. But I've recently found some really, really lovely baby dress patterns, and we have a bunch of, sorry for crinkling, we have a bunch of sweet little girls in our life, and I don't know, that's just kind of the perfect, I'm not a super pink person. I wear lots of neutrals, as you can tell, and I was trying to jump out of my comfort zone, but I feel like maybe that might become a baby dress instead. Maybe something else to add to our hope chest. I don't know. Anyway, I think that is everything that I have covered up to this point today. The sun is starting to go down. It is officially 4:30 here, and I should start thinking about some dinner. My husband went out with his brother this morning, and I'm sorry if you don't like hunting or meat, but they shot a couple of grouse, and I'm going to make a so-called chicken pot pie with the grouse. So, pardon me. Anyway, I hope that you are with me to the end, and if you are, I'm going to try and, like I said, post a couple of photos of our wedding and maybe some of my other finished objects that I was talking about too. Thank you for joining me. I really hope to see you again, and any comments, if anything that I can improve on or anything like that, please post it below, and of course I will link everything for my Ravelry as well as Instagram. Even though it's private, just ask me to friend you. Maybe I should make that public eventually. But anyway, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day and happy knitting.
This day is getting older, fading light, it's beautiful. This wind is blowing colder, and too soon I'll feel its pull. Still I took all my chances, earned myself an even score, try to learn my lessons well. And I don't have the answers for those questions anymore. Only love can be both heaven and hell. So sturdy up your heart, for the road is long ahead. I'll be with you even though we're apart, but your road is yours to tread. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so it goes. Slows your mind, mind. So it goes, and so it goes, and so it goes. Slows your mind, mind.
Thank you.